if you are a transgender woman, and I'm trying to say this so I don't sound out of pocket. If you are, you know, a lesbian woman who enjoys Star Wars and you want to see more lesbians in Star Wars, I can understand you wanting to see that, because I do think that while yes, some of these things are and I know it's going to sound hypocritical because I'm always one of the people that you have to stick to the script, but I understand wanting to see yourself in whatever is being produced. Like I can understand that, especially as a little black kid that never had any shows of or any main character shows that look like me. The only one I can think off of the top of my head is like the Proud Family and Fillmore.
My fault, Mac. What's the name of them? Wait, what's their name?
What?
Stormtroopers.
The Star Troopers outside, bro.
They're outside. They're looking for rebels.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky. O M Hope you're living well. Hope you're doing right. I'm here with my good brothers. We got the razor sharp assassin with the clipper and Johnny B. You can see he clipped me up real good. Oh. We also got the Black Kage, the Hook Kage, aka Crispin, aka Salt and Pepper Poppy. And we are the NBN Nerdy by Nature boys. Let's get it. Hope you're living well. I didn't even tell Crispin I got a gum fruit tattoo last week.
Nice.
I showed you.
Oh, word. Nice. Yeah, you did. Yeah. Nice. You did get a gum fruit. Yeah. That shit was tough. I got a tattoo recently too.
Where?
Yeah, he got a.
I got a Totodile.
Totodile.
Right. Yeah, look at that.
Nice. I want to get a Pokeball right here.
Do it.
I don't know which one.
Get an Ultra Ball.
You know which one I'm that? The one from Legends, the wood-looking one.
Oh, that one actually does sound like a cool tattoo idea. I haven't seen that. There's a lot of texture on that Pokeball. But
I got this tattoo. I was like, yo, I want another one, and I'm about to get Zoro swords soon. Anyway,
it'd be awesome. Yeah, I want to see that when it's done. Yeah. I mean, hey, we haven't seen each other in a long time. Hi, everyone.
I was gonna ask you guys. I was gonna ask you. A long time.
Father's Day was okay. It was okay. It was mixture of like hanging out and then chores because I can't escape them.
Oh no, I escape all of mine.
I tried, but I just can't. I can't escape them. It's the ADD. It won't let me.
Oh, that's your problem.
It is.
That's your problem, bro. I locked myself in a room. And I was like, leave me alone. Facts. Until we went to dinner. That's it.
Oh, you're brave. You went out. I don't like to go out on like holidays. I feel like you can't.
Bro, nobody cares about Father's Day, bro. Ain't nobody was out. The restaurant was empty.
Yeah, I believe you. And I'm sorry that they don't love us the same.
No. I'm glad that nobody cares about Father's Day because my family cares about Father's Day, so they treat me right. There you go. To eat.
There you go. So when you get to enjoy.
Exactly.
You get to enjoy. I love it. I love it. Speaking of being fathers, I want to gather you gentlemen here to have like a very broad discussion, but there is I have like an ulterior motive. There is a reason why I brought it up. But me and Macky have been talking shit for the past like 2 years about having an in-depth conversation just about our love for Star Wars, which we've never done. And Star Wars was like a big theme for my Father's Day, so like a lot of my gifts were Star Wars themed. So I've had Star Wars on the brain. The Saturday before Sunday, we were just watching all the original trilogy in the barbershop while we were working all day. So it was just a lot of Star Wars, happening over the weekend. And
must have been after I left.
Yeah, probably.
Nobody cares about you, Macky.
Obviously.
That's why
I was over there watching some Comic-Con bullshit.
He was watching that auction show. Yeah. I don't know. Once his phone disconnected, bloop, I was like, we're gonna watch Star Wars. So I wanted to ask you guys, basically what your experiences were with Star Wars. Like, have you, like, I know like me and Mac have spoken off camera about Star Wars in the past, but I do want to revisit it, obviously, now that we're here doing an episode. But like Crispin, we've never had a Star Wars conversation, so I don't know. And it's okay. It's totally okay. That's kind of why I like
Just
having you
never watched
around.
Star Wars.
Have you seen anything Star Wars related, and what are your current opinions about it? Like, what do you think? Tell me.
I watched the original Star Wars movie one time.
Which original?
The first one that came out.
Just the first one, A New Hope. Okay.
One time.
Wait,
How do you remember how old you were when you saw
hold
it?
on.
Super recent?
Super recent, like 2-3 years ago.
Wait,
Okay,
you're
so
referring to the one from the 70s, right? That one.
The original shit.
The first movie.
I was like,
first
let me
trilogy.
watch the original.
That's A New Hope.
See what the hell is going on.
Okay.
And it didn't.
Was it for you?
It didn't tickle your fancy.
I tried to watch the Mandalorian. Right?
Good one.
That's a good one though.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Grab you. Okay.
Christine, I was the same way. How far did you get in? You got one episode in?
Like 2.
So the third episode it picks up. I promise you. Because I told John the same thing. I said, bro, I was struggling to watch that first
Oh
episode.
yeah, that was my recommendation to him. Was like, you need to watch The Mandalorian before anything else. Like,
Well, no, I had watched shit before that.
no,
I watched
before you started watching the newer stuff.
Yeah. But I watched like in order. So I watched 1, 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6. And then in between all of those, I watched like Clone Wars, of course, and Rebels.
Rebels is the other one, yeah.
Rebels, and then the Bad Batch and Mandalorian. I've seen season 1 and 2. I haven't seen 3. I haven't seen Acolyte. I've seen Rogue One. I saw that in theaters actually. I've seen like a couple of them now that I think about it.
And I also started watching the movie with John Boyega. Which one's that one?
If it's the first one, that's episode 7, The Force Awakens.
I started watching that.
And that one you wasn't feeling either. That one just has a lot of callbacks to A New Hope.
I think it's just I can't get into the world of it.
Okay.
Like it's
That's
just
an
the
interesting
feeling of this. I'm looking and I'm like, bro, like this is not for me. Like this.
Yeah.
Star Wars
the world itself
is not for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for me, to be honest.
And that's totally okay. You
I still get excited when new shit for Star Wars come up. I'm like, oh shit, that's that shit from the woo. Everybody like that shit, but I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, it just not something that's on your radar.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's very interesting. As someone who, and maybe I'm, reaching, but you love, we all love One Piece here, and One Piece's world is so vast and big, and that's why I kind of
characters that matter and are all interconnected, and
that's why I kind of like. That's why I was like, Star Wars is like, kind of. That's why it was so easy for me to get into it, because there's so much shit going on. But if you pay attention, you're really watching. Like again, I even told John when I first watched the original trilogy, I was like, bro, even though he had told me that Disney had remastered it and made everything look a lot cleaner, I'm like, bro, for the 70s, this shit looked fire. I can't even lie.
No. The cinematography was lit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I went to school for that shit, so I know my shit. Like, I'm like, for the 70s, this shit look crazy. But the thing for me is like, if I can't grasp the character, like grab onto at least one of the characters, I'm just not gonna be into it. You know what I'm saying?
Was Luke Skywalker like too unrelatable for you as a character?
I couldn't relate to him at all. Like, it just.
You might fuck with Anakin.
I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, who am I? Like, what am I following? What am I? Whatever. Like, I was weirded out by the whole thing. And then when you compared it to One Piece right now, I think the difference in One Piece is like, for me, every character in the main cast is likable.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't focus on them being like an actual human with all these feelings. So like, they all specifically have a specific way of moving.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Luffy is goofy, and then he gets mad when you try to play with his friends. That's what it is. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I saw Luke, I'm just like, he's just like a regular dude, I guess.
He's a scared kid in that first movie. But that's the thing is, those 3 films are his character arc. So yeah, he's a whiny little bitch in the first movie, and
By the third one, he becomes that
by the
nigga.
third movie, he's a Jedi master. But
Absolutely.
it's something where he's very like gung ho, and he's very ambitious, and he thinks he knows more than he really does, and he's very stubborn, and he doesn't follow directions, and he disobeys what people tell him to do all the time, and he's just somebody that he trusts his gut. So he's just one of those hot-headed kids that, will trust his gut and will do whatever it takes, basically.
So
like his father.
All the movies to figure this out.
I'm not saying you have to.
At least the first 3.
But if you want
trilogy.
to like just experience what Star Wars is, just in general, you watch the original trilogy, you're basically good. Like if you didn't watch anything else, nobody would really be mad at you. Like there's probably a whole bunch of people that are gonna be like, oh, fuck you, prequels for life. I get it. I like the prequels. But if you watch
Prequels is fire.
If you watch, I get it. I like the prequels. I don't.
Those are the ones. Those are the best ones.
I would. That was our generation. We were kids
Absolutely.
going to the movies when the prequels were coming out.
I didn't watch them when we were kids, but I hear you.
I did. I went to the movies.
You were a fan though already.
That was because I was introduced to Star Wars from my parents' generation. Like my aunt had a boyfriend that was into Star Wars, and I actually have his VHS collection. Like he left it with me. He bounced. And he's like, damn. He's like, the streets is, they streeting right now.
Niggas is banning outside.
I gotta go. Hold this for me, young man. Yo.
Like I was,
Star Wars outside, other fucking
the wars are out there.
God damn.
So I was exposed to Star Wars at a very young age. Like, I had access to those VHS tapes, and like back in the day, you guys remember what it was like. We didn't have TV, or I didn't have like access to cable all the time neither. Especially at my aunt's house, she didn't have cable for a very long time. So what we did was we watched VHS tapes, we watched movies, and I watched Star Wars a lot.
See, I think that was my problem, because when in my house the VHS that we had were fucking Titanic, Space Jam, the Selena movie, and the Lord of the Rings. All 3 of them bitches.
Very specific little collection you got there.
Exactly. So all I watched was Titanic, Space Jam, Selena movie, Lord of the Rings. That's it. That's all I watched. Like I didn't have cartoon movies. Like I had none of the Disney movies that everybody got. God fucking shit.
Listen, I promise, and I've never said anything like this ever. Like I don't just make bold statements, and I don't like shitting on other properties. I always like to find the good in other things. But I promise you that Star Wars is way fucking better than Lord of the Rings.
Who the fuck cares about Lord of the Rings?
I'm just saying. You watched it. You watched the Lord of the Rings because you had it.
Else.
Okay, but I'm telling you that Star Wars is way better than that shit. Way better than that shit. All of it is way better than that shit. Well, there's been like opportunity for me and Mac to bounce feelings about Star Wars in different like time periods and stuff like that, but we never got a chance to have any like updated kind of conversations on camera, and maybe kind of like ask the audience, like how they feel about like Star Wars, and maybe get some conversation, on social or in the comments and stuff about how Star Wars does, in my opinion, fit into everything that we talk about when it comes to just nerdy like properties and even the anime stuff. If you maybe want to see something, Crispin, that's not so story heavy but is anime and is Star Wars, you can go on Disney Plus and watch Star Wars Visions. And Visions are just short little mini episodes that were made by different anime studio houses, and they put together their own little thing that they wanted to do for Star Wars. So they're all really small, self-contained stories that are sometimes artistic in their art style, like how they wanted to, share a story and things like that. And something like that would be really, really, really interesting to check out. That's not
I would
something.
probably just try again with the movies.
Try Visions and see if it catches your interest, because if the world catches your interest in Visions, then you see what the world is. That is Star Wars. It's just made into like that anime style, that, and it's just taken that art form.
Okay.
Like I've even like I showed the podcast a while back that I even had like a Mandalorian manga that had came out, that they're retelling the story like in manga format, and Viz Media is printing that. um like, so Star Wars translates really well into those mediums, and George Lucas was inspired by old samurai films and spaghetti westerns. So Star Wars, like
and
purest essence.
Dune
I mean,
and
they're
Dune.
similar, but he was working on Star Wars for a really long time.
Dune came out before Star Wars.
Just because it came out doesn't mean that this isn't something that George Lucas had been working on
I didn't say
prior.
that he didn't. I'm not saying that he stole it. I'm saying he could have taken inspiration from Dune. There's a lot of similarities
There are a
between
lot of
Dune
similarities,
and
yes,
Star Wars. That's what I'm saying.
but for the most part, the
Do
theme
you
behind Star Wars is westerns and samurai films.
do you think that they made Star Wars like in space because of whatever was happening in the '60s with NASA or whatever? You think that he took it over there for that, because people were going crazy about space back in the day.
I think it was an opportunity to do a fantasy, right?
Mhm.
Because it is a fantasy world, and it has like this little like religious undertone to it, like with like the Force and the Jedi and things like that. um and the dark side and the light side to the Force. But there was just like the desire to do something that hadn't been done, like this sci-fi kind of like thing. Like Star Wars can be described as a space opera. So it's really like this, like boisterous story. It's a really long but very well told kind of story that spans hundreds of years. There's hundreds of years of lore. To really see how the alien civilizations in this galaxy far, far away have been thriving and living amongst each other. And it's a reflection of like human nature and human culture in general. There's always the political side to things, there's always the moral side to things, there's always the debate on who has the right to govern certain things or to tell certain life forms or people what to do and how to live their lives. And they show us examples of totalitarian regimes, dictatorships. Like the Galactic Empire is just an analogy for a giant totalitarian government. And like
The Galactic Empire, the white dudes, right?
the stormtroopers are the soldiers, yeah, in the Galactic Empire. And if you see the whole story, it's very interesting because it shows you how they went from a democracy that worked to being corrupted by politicians with their own agendas, to then becoming a dictatorship, and how that dictatorship started to spread and try to take control of other planets and civilizations in the galaxy. They wanted to have, control the way that the government was controlling, but they want control with an iron fist. It's different. You don't get to vote. You just listen to what I tell you, type of thing. And the story in and of itself is more about its characters, and about how they overcome these astronomical, like feats of taking on the Galactic Empire with just a ragtag group of rebel soldiers piloting stolen, spaceships or cheaply bought at, like used stuff from old past wars, and fighting, the Empire with all their brand new ships and artillery, and somehow managing to, overthrow the Empire and restore peace to the galaxy. So the characters go on all their own individual journeys and character arcs, and there's a lot of interesting moments and a lot of introspective that happens and a lot of religious analogy that happens. And one of the main characters is basically like the son of God, like Anakin Skywalker is his mother birthed him out of nowhere. Like he's an
Immaculate conception.
He's an immaculate
Oh,
conception.
he's Jesus Christ.
He's Jesus Christ. He's a child that was born because of the will of the force. Like there was a disturbance so strong in the
Like the
natural
force is like,
way.
I need to
The force
impregnate
said,
this lady right here.
I need to balance
He needs to.
the force. So there, immaculate conception. Anakin is born, and there's a whole thing.
So
Watch
Luke is
episode one.
Anakin's son.
Yes,
One of his children.
one of his children. Yes.
How many sons? How many kids? This
He
nigga
has
got?
twins, just
He
a
has twins.
son and a daughter,
A son and a daughter.
So Luke and then another chick,
Leia.
Princess
Leia.
Leia.
Princess Leia, the girl with the two little monitos.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's her.
even though they kissed in that first movie.
They
Oh,
didn't
no.
know each
Kinda
other.
crazy.
Didn't know they were brother and sister. And George
Kinda
Lucas
crazy.
didn't know that he was gonna do that either.
Freak.
He is
He just-
crazy.
Like, yeah, I need to change that. Okay.
Freak.
He
What?
So
Good, bro, I swear.
Star Wars.
Star Wars is all about balance, man. It's
Yeah.
all about balance,
Okay,
Even
I
when-
have a couple of questions for you guys since
Oh
you
no,
guys
go
have
ahead,
seen
please.
all the movies, right?
Ask.
First of all, which one is your favorite Star Wars movie? Macky, you can go first, and then John can tell me his. Movie, not the shows, just the movies.
It might be episode 2. That was Attack of the Clones, right?
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
That one's fire. Even though I think that's the one that
Is that in the
Mace
first
gets-
trilogy, or that's
That's
the
That's when they
That's
when they
the
killed Jango
prequel.
Fett.
prequel?
Yeah.
So
They
1,
killed
2,
Jango
3
Fett
are
in that fucking
prequels.
movie.
Yeah, 1,
Yes.
2, 3 is the prequel. 4,
4,
5,
5,
6
6
is
are the original
the
trilogy.
original, and then
7, 8, 9 are the Disney sequels.
It's like the Skywalker trilogy. That's what they call that shit. But yeah, I would say episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That was the one for me. I think that's the one that Mace Windu died on, right?
No, he dies in episode 3.
3.
He kills Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones.
And
He
Jango Fett
decapitates
is
Jango Fett.
that's a motherfucker right there. So
these
episode-
niggas are all Jedi's. The niggas you talking about?
no,
No, he was talking about a Jedi that Samuel Jackson plays, who killed a Mandalorian warrior that they used this man's DNA to clone an entire army to protect the
Oh,
government.
so you know
the Mandalorian
those-
show.
Hold on.
Give me a second. Let me ask my question. And you tell me if I'm wrong. The
Mhm.
Mandalorian show. That nigga is the first Mandalorian.
No.
No.
No. Okay.
Mm-mm.
Keep going.
So all the stormtroopers, the people with the white,
The ones that are out there.
yeah, them niggas is out in the streets. The people that wearing all white, those during the
During the Clone Wars,
during the
Sorry,
Clone
sorry,
Wars,
sorry.
they were clones of
Minority.
Boba Fett.
Jango Fett.
Jango Fett.
Summer,
Excuse me.
Problem.
Boba Fett is the Mandalorian. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, Boba Fett is not the Mandalorian.
I'm so confused. I haven't watched in a minute, bro. So I
The
apologize.
Mandalorian-
Niggas cooking me in the comments.
The Mandalorian in the show, his name is Din Djarin, and he was found as a child by Mandalorian soldiers who were liberating a planet from like Imperial.
What's the name of that
occupation.
order that they
Death
send them
Watch.
to? Yes.
And
The children of the something.
the children of the Watch, and
Yeah.
there's
He's
another
a
faction.
Mandalorian without the DNA of Mandalorian.
He's not born of Mandalorian blood, but he was adopted into their culture, and he basically swore his life to their creed, and he swore to a creed that was being followed by very, very religious Mandalorians.
Yes.
So they tell you things like you are never to take off your helmet in front of other people ever. By yourself, you're fine, but no one is ever supposed to see your face for the rest of your life. You will always be a Mandalorian.
And just to give a little more context, Mandalorian is a race of people, Crispin. So like that's a race of it's a warrior race.
Now it is a
Star
creed.
Wars.
So like the
Now I think they've killed them all for the most part. Like all of them are.
No, you need
No?
to watch season 3.
I haven't watched season 3, nor have I watched. I'm saying from where I am, there are not that many Mandalorians left out
That
there,
you are right. You are very correct.
as they were in like the prequel, the prequel
They were
trilogy.
we're all over the place, right? Like this is such a crazy conversation. But just to the Mandalorians are the
He's mad about
Saiyans
no
in
shit.
Star Wars. All right, the Mandalorians, they're the Saiyans. They are an entire planet of warrior, people. Like all of them, everybody from young to old, warrior people. Over time, they started like separating. There were warrior clans that wanted to stay warrior clans, and then there were clans that wanted to be peaceful and democratic, and they wanted to do things differently. But Mandalore as a whole, they said we're strong enough to tell the Republic before it became the Empire, we don't need you. We don't need to be a part of the Republic. And even when it was the Empire, they said we don't need to be a part of your empire neither. We are an independent system.
We'll whoop
And
your ass.
the Empire said, no, 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 no. And the Empire pulled a Frieza, basically.
Ah.
And that's why in the Mandalorian, the
So
series, you're seeing...
The nigga in all black went over there, pulled up with a whole bunch of white niggas. There's an all white. And killed the warrior nigga.
I don't think
That's
Vader
what it was.
himself led the fleet.
He
It
didn't
was
pull up?
Moff Gideon, right? I think
so.
Moff Gideon was the one that led.
There was another dude in black.
Mandalore. Yes, it was another guy that.
Another
wears all
dude
black.
dressed in the black cloak.
Yes, he does have a
Pulled up
black
with-
cloak. Yeah.
Pulled up to with the dudes with the white uniform.
The only one that doesn't
To
have
the
a
dudes with the green and red uniform.
Giancarlo's
And got rid of
costume
them.
is black. Yeah. He has like that Darth Vader-ish kind of looking outfit with
Maul?
the black cape. No, not Maul. Maul had a cloak also.
yeah, but he got rid of that shit.
He took it
Is he-
off and then he had like his like gi.
Yeah, he don't fuck with them niggas no more. Well,
Yeah, no,
that's
because
fine.
he was no longer Sidious's apprentice. He was disowned.
That's crazy.
He was
Ah.
replaced. So we're just like bouncing all over like the Star
Yeah.
Wars timeline, and we're talking about so
What's
many
your-
random things.
John, what is your favorite movie? Because I answered.
It's-
Mine was
it's-
episode 2.
It's got to be between episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, or episode 4. No, not episode 4. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. So the
So the
episode-
second movie from the first sequel or the third movie from the third trilogy, I mean. From the first
Yes.
trilogy and the third trilogy.
so the second movie and then the third movie, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Why? Why those two?
so
Are
In
they
the
like
Em-
similar?
the Empire, no, they're very different, but they're actually, you know what? They are kind of similar. And I can
Empire Strikes
explain
Back
why.
is when he goes and trains with Yoda, right?
Yes, when he goes to the Dagobah
Oh,
system.
dude.
Yeah, Yoda.
And that's
Baby
when Yoda dies.
What the baby version of
Baby Yoda is in the Mandalorian series, and he is not baby
His
Yoda.
name is not
People
Baby
just
Yoda.
just call him a baby. He is just of Yoda's race, and he happens
Yeah.
And
to
just
be
a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. Yeah, he's just
That would have been
Another
cool.
one
That
of
would've
them.
been Cool.
We don't know what
That
they
would've
are
been Cool. It would have been cool if he was actually Baby Yoda, and then
and then he grows. Well, the timeline don't. Yoda, when we meet him, like when Luke Skywalker meets Yoda, Yoda is over 900 years old.
Yeah, he's about to. He pieces out in that movie after
Yeah,
after he
He's-
trains him.
He's almost 900 years old. His species lives a very, very, very long time. They live a very long time, and for a long time, Yoda was the head of the Jedi Order. He was the top.
But
person.
Yoda is that naked.
Yes,
You
he
know what I
is. Yes, he is.
All right, Master Roshi.
He is Master Roshi. Yes.
Okay.
Except without the pervy shit.
Yeah, no, definitely no pervy nothing in Star Wars.
That's
So
the only thing John do not like about Star Wars.
you know what? I actually appreciate Star Wars being clean and family friendly. I
It's
appreciate
for
it.
kids. That's why.
Yes. It's family friendly. It's not specifically for kids. It's for everyone. Like that was the idea. That was George Lucas wanted it to be for everyone. He said, "I want Star Wars to belong to everyone, not to like."
Why did I hear something about Star Wars about the last director that did a movie for them or a show for them? It was a girl.
I'm not entirely sure, but before we get sidetracked again, let me just finish answering the question. So The Empire Strikes Back is basically the part of the original trilogy where the good guys lose, basically. The good guys lose, and the Empire really did come
Or
back,
Infinity
and
War.
yeah, like it was one of those like moments where it was like shit, like what are they gonna do in the next movie? Like people got captured, people died, things went wrong, like, and then it like kind of leaves you like wondering what's gonna happen in the next movie. And in Revenge of the Sith, it's basically when Anakin Skywalker has his moment where he makes the decision to turn to the dark side and claim a new master in the Force and agree to follow the Sith Lord in his teachings and help him murder the remaining Jedi so that they can finally take over the government and create.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Don't do it, Anakin.
So
I have the high ground.
Anakin
Have the high
Skywalker. Give me a second.
He's the GOAT, by the way. That's why you need to watch Clone Wars,
You
bro.
turned her
Listen
against
to me. Anakin Skywalker, right?
Es
Es el papá de
de
¿cómo
Luke.
se llama el otro? What's his
Luke
name?
and Leia.
Lucardo Skywalker,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But from what I know from Star Wars, nigga in the black cloak, what's his name?
Darth Vader.
Darth
The
Vader.
daughter que es Vader, right?
Mhm.
Es el papá de Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
They're the same person. They're the same
Es lo
person.
mismo.
Es un hijo de su madre. That's what
Ah.
I'm telling you. Ah.
Uh-huh.
Freaking mamá. Okay.
What was very interesting about the way George Lucas told his story, because Disney has kind of like told a bunch of their own kind of stories.
Like-
some of them are good, some of them are weird.
Outside of the main story, they told
Yes.
a lot of stories.
So when you watch the original trilogy, you get Luke's story and you get his character arc, and he does discover that the big bad of the fucking trilogy is his actual father. And the prequel trilogy 1, 2, and 3 is the story of his father. It's his father's story. It is exactly
His
what
descent
happened
into
to
madness.
the chosen one, the childbirth of the Force.
So Jesus went to hang out with Lucifer and was
Yes.
like, "Yo, bro,
That's it.
Dang.
Yes, we out forever now. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Like ride or die.
Look,
Like I'm
see,
out.
that
Adam
is
and Eve
why-
gotta beat Jesus and Lucifer."
and that
You're
is
trying to
why when he had babies with Padme, when he had babies with Padme, he had twins, Luke and Leia, to balance the Force.
So Adam and Eve.
Because I don't know if you want to call them.
I don't
call
think
them that.
like you can
But- That's not a good analogy, but- but he had them to balance the Force, because on one side you had Luke and Leia, and then on the other side you had Anakin, and I can't remember the Emperor's name right now. Palpatine, thank you. You have Palpatine. So he had twins to balance the Force, basically, because Anakin by that point had already gone too far. Anakin, I forgot which movie it was.
It's your favorite.
The second one where he goes to the Jedi Council and they about to put him on, and then he's like, they're like, yeah,
Oh
nah.
no, that's the third one.
That's the third one. Yeah, that's what I
Talking
thought.
about when he snaps.
No, he snaps in the second one, but then in the third one, he's like, I bet I'm still trying to, do what I got to do. I'm still trying. I want to be on the Jedi Council. He would have been the youngest Jedi on the Jedi Council, but they was just like, nah, we're not about to do that. And
He was allowed to be on the council, but he was not given the title of master.
oh, true. Because I don't think they thought he should get it at that point, right?
It was because it was what Palpatine wanted. Palpatine had told them to put Anakin on the council.
Oh, like
So
force
they,
hand.
yeah, so they said, you're on the council, but we do not grant you the title of master because you have not earned it. And
bitch ass.
Anakin took it personally because he knew he was stronger than everybody, and he was
Absolutely.
being patient. He was being very patient. He didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but he wanted his respect. He wanted his respect real bad.
Patience?
No, he eventually loses his patience. But up until
He
that
was
point,
patient for
he
two
was being
movies. What you
patient.
want? How long you want me to be patient? I was patient for two
No, the
movies.
first movie
Yeah,
he was like a I
was a
think in the
child.
beginning he was a
He was a
child
child.
in the first
He was a
movie.
kid, yeah.
In the second movie is when he's like a young adult, like he's probably maybe like
Probably like 16,
16
17
in the
maybe.
beginning, and then towards the end, it's like he's like 18 or something like that by the end of the movie, and then he's like I guess a
like
man
19, 20, 21.
in the
maybe,
third
right? In
movie
the
or
third
something
movie,
like
yeah.
that. So yeah, it was. He's from the hood though, so I get it. Like he's from a desolate planet that ain't got shit over there. They don't got. You can't even find water.
He was the chosen one, but he was a slave.
Yeah,
he was a slave, and he was rescued from his servitude.
Yeah,
So he was rescued from a desert planet as a slave. But like as fun as it is to recap Star Wars, right? Like there's been a lot of people like arguing over Disney's contributions to Star Wars, and a lot of people feel like that some of the individuals in charge have been trying to push a very modern agenda onto Star Wars. So you have a lot of people on social media that like to argue back and forth about what's appropriate or inappropriate, or what's progressive and what's conservative, or what is all of these different things, and in my opinion not trying to focus on the Star Wars. The Acolyte is a series that just came out on Disney Plus, and it's kind of got like
again in that they did it again in that movie. They got the Killmonger hairstyle, right? Yeah,
no. Who has one of the Jedis does? Yeah, he has.
Yes, he does. What
are
we talking about?
Yord. His name is Yord.
Yeah, look at that trash ass name with
so
a trash.
This new Star Wars series is taking place in a time period we've never seen in live action ever before. It's only been written about in books and like comic books and stuff like that, but it is from hundreds of years before episodes 1, 2, and 3, before Anakin was ever born. It's a few hundred years in the past, when the Jedi were at their peak, when the Republic was its strongest, and this is where the story takes place. This is before the Sith. This is before the people that want to use the Force to manipulate the dark side to achieve, to gain power and strength, before they came about to challenge the ideology of the pure Jedi who use the Force to, promote balance and peace and justice in the galaxy. So this is before all of that. So if you do choose to start somewhere, you could technically start with the Acolyte, but it's not finished. It's only 3 episodes in, and it's a very mixed bag. I personally am enjoying the series for what it is. I kind of like just being in this time period, so I really just want to finish the series before I decide if I like it or not. But a lot of people online are not very happy with the Acolyte. They're just not really happy. That I believe that it's mainly just because the main character has 2 moms, and that's a big part. It's a big
about that too.
It's a big part of her backstory. Like what happens.
Moms in the book or wherever.
I believe these are like new characters for the series. These are new characters. But here's my only gripe before you ask any questions, Crispin. I'm sorry to interrupt you. My only gripe is that in that episode where we meet this girl's 2 moms, we learn that they were born in a very similar way that Anakin was too. So this
the 2 moms were born that way?
No, they used the Force to create life. There is a comic book out there that is technically no longer canon, but it has a really good explanation for what could have been the reason why Anakin was born. And there is a theory that Palpatine could have been manipulating the Force to create life, and that was what that was how Anakin's mom gave birth to him. So they're saying that if a Sith were capable of creating life through the Force, he had to have learned it from somewhere, or it had to have been something that is feasible, right? Like, this is something I can fuck with, and maybe I can do it myself. So I'm assuming that this is maybe the beginning of toying around with those kinds of things, and they're going to show how the Sith is birthed out of the ideologies from this coven. It's like a coven of witches. You remember the witches of Dathomir,
Yes.
the planet that Maul is from, right? You remember you fought the Night Brothers in
Oh my
Fallen Order.
god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
So they're basically
Yes.
following the same. It's like the same cult. It's them.
They're dead. They're no longer alive. Like
No, but remember, this is 100 years before this nigga.
No. I'm saying when I
Yeah.
fought them in the game. What I was saying.
yeah.
They're dead. Like
I
they
had,
don't.
I had something to say about that. It wasn't a question. It was something that I saw because I be on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And I saw a guy talking on TikTok, and he was talking about the same situation.
Yeah.
About where Star Wars actually went downwards, and it's in being so inclusive that they created a whole new series with the director being a person that never saw Star Wars, never read Star Wars. She said it out loud, and the director itself, she's a transgender woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like he was saying, like when you don't know something and you just want to add your specific. That's what the guy was saying in the video. Your specific sexual attraction in the show when it doesn't really make sense or whatever. That's what he was saying. That will bring down the viewership of the show. Do I think it's true? No. The thing with me is like if you don't know something, I don't think you should be working on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is me because when you know something in your head, you're creating for that world.
Yes.
Right? So you know the intricacies, the details of this world. So when you create something that makes sense. It could be something left field, but it'll make sense when it connects. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. That's why I think the One Piece show came out so good because the director is a One Piece fan, so he knows.
So he wanted to care for the property in a certain way, but he was also retelling a pre-existing story.
Yeah. Even though they did change some things.
Yes,
but it made sense.
You have to change for live action. Yeah. I 100% agree with the notion that you should not work on something that you don't believe in, because then it looks like you're doing it for a check. And not to bring this back, not really to talk about Marvel, but the reason why Marvel has been so ass is because a lot of the showrunners and a lot of the producers and directors and writers were openly saying that they never were watched, interested, or none of that shit into Marvel. Now, if you are a transgender woman, and I'm trying to say this so I don't sound out of pocket. But if you're a transgender woman and you enjoy Star Wars and you want to see transgender people in Star Wars, thank you. Thank you, Will. If you want to see transgender people in Star Wars and you know how to make the story good, I'm fine with that.
But that's the thing. There's no transgender character that we're talking about.
Oh, so the nigga was talking shit.
Correct. I was just saying just that because I know a lot of people have an issue with that. Yeah. Or if you are a lesbian.
My fault, Mac. What's the name of them niggas in the white? What's their name?
What?
Stormtroopers.
The Star Troopers outside, bro.
They're outside. They're looking for rebels.
If you are a lesbian woman who enjoys Star Wars and you want to see more lesbians in Star Wars, I can understand you wanting to see that, because I do think that while yes, some of these things are and I know it's gonna sound hypocritical because I'm always one of the people that you have to stick to the script, but I understand wanting to see yourself in whatever is being produced. Like I can understand that, especially as a little black kid that never had any shows or any main character shows that look like me. The only one I can think off of the top of my head is like the Proud Family and Fillmore. Other than that, what else we got? So that's just me. I can only speak for myself. I am one of those people that, stick by the book, make sure it don't got to be exact, but it got to be damn near close for me to enjoy it. But I can understand wanting to see yourself in some of your favorite work.
Representation does matter, right? Like, because, how would we feel if we never saw people of color in films and TV? You know, like we would be like, what the hell? Like there's so many of us that pay into all of this and contribute. Like, you know, we should be represented in some way, shape, or form. You know, but my issue
As long
is
as it's not
if
forced.
but if
That's the
okay,
thing.
if you wanna argue about it in a Star Wars perspective, if they were going to change a pre-existing character and just be like, oh, this character was gay all along, and here's their gay lover, and you know, blah blah blah, then I could see why people would be upset because it's
Yeah,
like
I get
you
that.
just made that up out of nowhere just now just
Yeah.
to make it. But if it's a new character, we're getting new characters.
Yeah, it's a new
We don't.
story.
It's a new
Yeah.
story.
We
These are
have
new people. Just
yeah,
let them be the characters that they
yeah.
are, you know,
Yeah,
and just appreciate it for what it
that's why
is.
when I saw the video, I was just like, this nigga just sounds haterish right now.
Some people are just like very weird when it comes to. I know my lips are not moving right now, but I am
Yeah,
talking.
you're frozen.
Some people are just like weird when it comes to like things that are like this. When it comes to like changing up works that we have seen for a long time, people just get weird and they like shit. People don't really like change. So especially something that they've probably been watching since they were a young child, seeing it very different nowadays, or seeing people try to push their agendas nowadays can be very
Triggering.
can make someone triggering for people. Like I can understand why they would feel the way they feel, but at the same time, if this is a new story, just like John said, if this is a new story where it's new characters, new storyline, we've never seen something like this before, it's different from taking a character and now changing what that character is, like what they're doing for Silver Surfer. You know,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, like when you change a pre-existing character, people come.
Yeah, it makes no
right?
sense.
And I get that. You know, like
I can understand why people. Not that I agree.
No, but it makes more sense that you're like, oh man, I was attached to that, and now you've changed it, and now I'm upset.
It.
Okay,
but now if I'm creating something new, and if it's not bad, I mean,
just enjoy it.
People and I'm the biggest hater and all. Like, so trust me, I get it. But
when I saw the video, he did sound kind of haterish, to be honest. The dude, I just wanted to, like, since we were talking about Star Wars, that's like one of the things I saw recently. I just wanted to say it, just to see if you guys are hearing the same thing. But yeah, that nigga sounded haterish as hell.
The story, like, I didn't know, right, that this director is inexperienced in Star Wars, but from what I'm watching, they kind of not really doing that bad of a job. Like the story is,
the lore is there.
The lore is there. Like everything that was happening, I was like, oh yeah, this is this. Oh yeah, they're talking about that. Oh, like everything just kind of makes sense.
I'm pretty sure she read up some shit.
It's not even that. It's like, you know, you're obviously like just because you're directing doesn't mean you wrote it. Doesn't mean like you wrote like all the lore and like you were a part of the people that
I
did all
am
that. Like,
so sorry. I literally typed up the Acolyte on the computer, and it's the first thing I see is the Force is gay.
Wow.
You see what I mean? Like, there's a lot of there's so much.
These niggas are crazy. What this shit has a 1.5 rating. They are hating for no reason.
They're upset. They mad.
But look, here's what was interesting to me. Right, this is a story that it's only 3 episodes in, so I'm not really spoiling much for you. If it sounds interesting, watch it. If not, that's okay too. But it's basically a story about a girl who has a twin sister, and she was born with a little bit more of a pure heart, and her sister was born with a little bit more of a nefarious side. Like, she was definitely closer to the dark side. And since they were both born of the Force, like since someone used the Force to create life, I'm assuming that since they were twins, they are physical manifestations of the light and the dark. And we kind of see them as children in the 3rd episode that everybody hates so much. We see them as children kind of like bickering over like what's right and what's wrong. Like, oh, why don't you ever want to hang out with me? Because I don't want to do everything that you do. I don't like when you do those things. Oh, but we're supposed to be doing this. Like, you're supposed to be up here with me. We're supposed to, you know, stop reading all the time by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the story is just like a lot about like dilemma and right and wrong and like kind of child innocence and stuff like that, and like, are we doing the right things, are we not doing the right things? There's a lot of moral conversation, a lot of moral back and forth, and the story is very interesting. It's got a lot of action. The actress, I always forget her name, and I apologize if anybody's like a mega fan of this woman, but
Amandula?
the actress who plays Trinity in The Matrix,
Oh,
I forget her name.
I don't know what that is.
Did you see The Matrix, Crispin?
The Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, do you remember Trinity?
Yes.
So she's in The Acolyte also,
Okay.
and she's in the first episode. She's a badass. So it's fun to watch her kind of do Matrix shit like in Star Wars. And one of the main characters is the guy from Squid Game. You watch Squid Game?
No.
Lee Jung Jae.
Yeah. So if you do ever watch that show, and that's also a very good show.
Oh, Carrie Ann Moss.
Who are
That's
we
what
talking
you're
about?
talking about. That's the Trinity from The Matrix.
Oh, okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, I always forget her name.
She's Canadian.
But
I thought you would love her.
she is, yeah, I love everything from Canada. She is she's in there. The guy from Squid Game, he's in there.
You ever seen The Hate You Give, or you ever heard about that? Yo, wait, hold on.
No.
You seen Colombiana?
I might have, yeah. Think so.
Crispin, you ever seen Colombiana?
What's that?
Never mind. The little girl who played like the little, not the little girl, but she is a little girl, but I forgot her name. I can't remember. The Dominican John, Zoe Saldana. The younger version of her in that movie is the main character of The Acolyte. Amandla something.
Okay. Yeah, she plays the twins.
She plays both of them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give like a real quick, because I'm looking up these people. The show, the creator of the show, she's the creator, director, screenwriter, blah blah blah. Leslie Headland. She created a movie called The Bachelor, Sleeping with Other People, Russian Doll, which was on Netflix, and this is another thing she created, the Acolyte, which she is named as the creator of this show. So yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I understand people not. She is married. She's not transgender, or I don't know if she is or not. I can't see that here.
That's what the dude said. I'm not.
But she is married. She is married to a woman, Rebecca Henderson, who is also an actress, who was on the show Russian Doll that she did. But yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I can understand people not wanting someone who does not know or care. And I can't say that she doesn't care because I don't know her, but not know or care about what they are creating to now be the creator of
One of the biggest franchises out there too.
Yeah, like I can't be mad at people hating her for that or hating Disney for this. But when you start to say things like, we don't want to see two women kissing, and it's just like, come on, bro, like get over it.
And that's the thing, is that there is like no romance in that episode. They just talk about their relationship a little bit, like where they argue about who has more authority. It's just like, well, I created them. Well, I carried them. So like, what are we talking about? What I'm saying? Like that's it. Like that's the conversation. That's the most gay conversation they have.
The gayest conversation they have. Who has the more authority of these kiddos?
Yes.
Of these niggies, little babies,
the little younglings. And that's
Crazy.
why I'm so confused as to why everybody is just so upset. Like, I get it. All right, fine. If you don't like gay people, don't watch it. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I genuinely don't know what to tell anybody at that point. At this point, like, there's nothing else to say. But it's interesting to me, this time period.
Rebecca Henderson is in this too.
So if either of you are interested, I'm gonna be watching, from week to week, just to kind of see how it goes down. I might end up hating it by the time it's done. I have no idea. Like I have to finish it before
too much
I can come up. Yeah. But
But I'm eventually watch it though. It's gonna be on the docket. I got House of Dragon and Power. It's too much shit going on right now. And we're watching The Sopranos right now for the third time.
oh
Too much
yeah,
shit on the
that's
docket.
great. You know, you got to prioritize the third watch. You know,
It's
but
not my third watch. It's my third watch. It's somebody else's first watch. So I'm watching it with them. But yeah, there's a lot. There's too much shit on the docket right now. But Acolyte, Star Wars is definitely gonna come back. You know, I've been trying to be on my anime shit recently and watch My Hero.
yeah,
But
Star Wars is very vast, Crispin, because I know that you're the least experienced in Star Wars. So Star Wars is very vast. It tells a really long story over many, 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 many years. But those individual stories, when consumed, you know, at a reasonable pace, they're all really interesting and very good. And the story is definitely something that we can all kind of connect with because it does relate to the way things are in our real world. You know, and there's a lot of tales of hope and triumph and, you know, defeat and a whole bunch of things, just betrayal. uh it's basically like a lot of things that George Lucas liked to do things in his movies where sometimes certain events repeat themselves. So he calls it a poem. He says it's like a poem. It rhymes. Like one movie rhymes with another movie, kind of. Like certain things happen like in the same way, in the same pattern. That's like a thing that he likes to do. So when you watch Star Wars, sometimes you see those things happen, you get those callbacks, or important moments happen again. And you know, like it's just really interesting to see how all the characters, this balance, you know, this is really interesting to see how all those characters kind of like come together and bring the story to you. The last three movies, 7, 8, and 9, are not my favorite pieces of Star Wars. They are not my favorite pieces of Star Wars. Are there things about them that I liked? Yes, definitely. My worst, like my most disliked piece of Star Wars media is Episode 8, The Last Jedi. But one of my favorite
Which one is the
pieces,
Last Jedi? Isn't that what John Boyega did?
he is in that movie. He's in all three of those movies. He's in 7, 8, and 9.
that's why
He's
he'll
the
never
main
work for
character of
Disney
Saturday Night
again.
Live.
Yeah, he's in all three of those movies. But one of my favorite piece of like lore when it comes to like the explanation of the Force and things like that comes from that film. And I just really loved like Luke Skywalker's explanation of like what the Force is and how he's explaining it to Rey, Daisy Ridley's character, and you know, just telling her that, you know, the Force is the life force that is in and surrounding everything in the galaxy, everything around us. You know, and you can, and the way that he feels, the way that he describes, you know, the Force is feeling, and the way that he explains to her how this is just something that exists. It doesn't belong to anyone. It doesn't belong to the Jedi. It doesn't belong to the Sith. It doesn't belong. It is just here. It is the natural way of life. It is that's what it is. It's the most purest explanation, and I love that part. The whole movie in general is a load of dog shit, but that scene in particular, I really, really love that scene. But I think that whole movie is a waste of time.
Fair enough. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, find some time to get acquainted with some Star Wars media, and I promise you'll enjoy it. I suggest Star Wars Visions.
I'll see.
I would say, yeah, if you're gonna watch Star
Visions.
Wars, I would say definitely either Visions or you could just jump into Clone Wars, bro. You don't really have to know too much about Star Wars to watch Clone Wars. I can't lie.
I think he could even probably watch Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and be interested in like what's going on. That one is with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I forgot he's in that shit. Yeah,
Liam Neeson, you know,
he gets cut up in that movie.
Lights.
And then he gets fucked up in
I'm
that shit.
gonna see if I can get into it again, bro. And I'll let you know how that goes.
try it out. Do the Darth Vader saga and watch episodes 1, 2, and 3. And then if you like that, you'll finish 4, 5, and 6.
All right,
But yeah,
all
so
right.
Star Wars is everywhere. There's games, there's comic books, regular books. TV shows, movies. There's a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot to catch up. We could sit here and talk about Star Wars for hours and not even come close to finishing any subject. But I appreciate you guys.
Right before we leave, John, who's your favorite character? And then you can tell me who's your favorite character, and then your favorite Jedi.
Okay. My new favorite character is definitely Mando. Din Djarin is just awesome.
I think
I like him.
Pascal, but okay.
Because of Pedro Pascal. I mean, he's great, but his character is just a fucking badass. Pedro Pascal.
Favorite Jedi.
My favorite Jedi. Oh man, that's a tough one. I might just say Anakin, just because like Jedi Anakin, just because he did some fucking amazing shit as a Jedi. He did some amazing fucking shit.
Clone Wars, that shit is crazy. That's just crazy.
You remember the Clone Wars that they did in that Samurai Jack art style in 2003?
I remember. Yep, I remember.
If you go back and watch Anakin's fight with Ventress, Asajj Ventress.
Ooh,
the bald girl.
Yeah, I remember her.
Who's the nigga with the spikes in his head? The nigga with the red face?
Darth Maul.
That's Darth Maul.
He was Palpatine's apprentice before they defeated him, and then
they cut that boy in half.
But he's not dead.
He's not dead. My favorite character is Ahsoka. I feel like I say that every single time.
Rosario Dawson, or just Ahsoka?
No, what the fuck? Hell
I don't know. I'm asking.
I never seen that shit, so I can't say. But Ahsoka is my favorite character. She is the realest motherfucker ever. My favorite Jedi, it's between Anakin, Anakin. Of course, he was a fucking dog. Like when you say dog, it's that much. You got you know those pictures where they put he got that dog in him.
The X-ray. He's got the pit bull in his chest.
It's between him and fucking Ezra. Ezra is a real nigga.
Ezra is a really
season 1. Ezra was a piece of shit, but every other season after that, actually towards the end of season 1 and the rest of the show, real nigga. That's another nigga that got that dog. Ezra was a real nigga. R.I.P. We don't know where you at. We still waiting for you to come back, Ezra. Real one. But with that being said, we've been here for an hour. You guys let us know in the comments. I know we kind of jumped all over the place when we were talking. We didn't really have too much structure. But fuck it, it's Star Wars. Star Wars don't got no structure anyway. They started with 4, 5, and 6. And then they gave us 1, 2, and 3 in 2002 in 1999. So fuck structure. We appreciate you guys. Watch the comments at the end. Do your comments, like the bell, do all that other shit. You feel me? We are nerdy by nature, and we out this bitch. Peace.
Wow. Oh, you guys are still here? Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for taking your time to get it right here. If you want more, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, share. You already know what it is. If you want to just listen to us, you go to Spotify, you go to Apple Music, anywhere there's a podcast, we there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. That's what we does. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, our Nerdy by Nature TV. We are everywhere, bro. We are everywhere. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out. We nerdy as hell over here, and you want to be over here with us. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out. See ya. Thank you.